was hot. If you've been outside at all, you know that. But it's actually going to get a lot hotter this week. An excessive heat warning for the inland valleys and mountains will take effect tomorrow and extend into Friday.
CBS 8's Kelly Hessedall joins us live from SDG&E headquarters with how to keep your energy bill from spiking during this heat wave. Kelly.
That's right. And just when you thought maybe you could turn off the AC, nope, this heat continues. Now, the big thing to really pay attention to is those peak hours between 4 and 9 p.m. Try to cut back on using energy if you can.
Wednesday through Friday of this week, we're going to have sustained heat. Importantly, that heat's going to go into the evening and have warm evening hours as well.
And that was Anthony Wagner with SDG&E. And as you heard him say, it is not going to just be hot during the day. It is expected to stay warm at night, too. So how can you keep your home cool? Well, at the same time, prevent your bill from spiking. We know there have been customers hit with some really high bills this year. But one thing to know is electricity rates double during peak hours. So that 4 to 9 p.m. stretch is when you'll pay twice as much. Now, the best thing to do is pre-cool your home. Shut all the drapes and the blinds. Turn on the AC in the morning. And then once 4 p.m. hits, shut it off if you can. Avoid using those large appliances like washing machines, dishwashers during peak hours. Run them overnight or in the morning. And if you have an electric vehicle, charge it overnight. Now, I asked, should we be concerned about this heat wave in terms of the energy grid? Should we be worried? And here's what he said.
Definitely is stress on the grid during high heat events. Thus far, we are not forecasting an emergency with regard to outages, but it's important that I tell my neighbors, always have a plan.
And he says that means have a flashlight, have all kinds of food supplies and stuff ready to go just in case of an unplanned outage. Now, meanwhile, there are people who are struggling. If you are struggling to pay your energy bill, SDG&E says contact them. We do have a website or a link up on our website, cbs8.com. Just click on the help button. Heather and Carlo.
All right. Thanks, Kelly.
So how hot is it expected to get and how long will it last?
Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis has all the answers to those questions for us. Carlene.
Well, it actually depends on where you're located. So we have some heat alerts that go into effect tomorrow, and that's across inland areas, inland valleys all the way towards the desert. And these are going to be warmer than usual temperatures for this time of the year. You're talking by about 10 to 15 degrees. So not only that, but we're going to be dealing with elevated fire weather concerns, especially on Thursday and Friday when we're expecting the peak of this heat. Now, as mentioned, the excessive heat warning. Yesterday, we were watching the desert. It had an excessive heat watch, but it's about 24 hours out from the starting, so now it's a warning. You're looking at highs for the inland valleys, upper 90s to 100. Far East County and Northeast cities, you are looking at 102 to 107. The desert looking at the heat in the 1-teens, as well as the mountains locked into the heat in the 90s, all the way up to 104. Now, added to that as of today is also the coast and downtown. You're looking at a heat advisory. That starts on Thursday and will last through Friday. So everything will wrap up Friday night, at least as of this evening. But you'll see when you look at our extended forecast that some of that heat goes into the start of the weekend.